Aaron Banks, the same logic we use for why the Niners might trade Brandon Ayuk, Talanoa Hufanga. These are players who have accomplished a little something in the NFL, look like they could be quality starters. At least certain teams think that. And they will be up for extensions this offseason. Aaron Banks was a second-round pick a couple years ago. He'll be up for an extension this offseason. And he's a pretty good guard. He might be able to get a nice little chunk of change on the open market. There might be a market for Aaron Banks. I don't know if the Niners would be in that market. They don't generally spend much money on guards. Like, the reason Banks is on the team is because the Niners didn't want to spend on Laken Tomlinson. Yeah. So they let him go, and they drafted Aaron Banks to replace him and have a guard on a rookie deal. Niners could do the same thing with Aaron Banks, just let his contract sort of expire eventually and replace him then, or they could trade him this offseason. What do you think they'll do with Aaron Banks?
Here's what they should do, and I hope they do this. The Niners have a reputation of extending people late, restructuring late. They have to absolutely invest in this offensive line. Aaron Banks is a solid player. They need to extend him and extend him yesterday, as soon as they can, which is, I believe, next year, right? After this season is the first time they can do that. They need to do that on day one while he's cheaper. If they let him continue to play and he performs even better next year, now he's more expensive. And that's the mistake that they've made in the past. Extend guys that you know are going to be important for this team early. Save yourself some money. That's what they should do with Aaron Banks. After this offseason, extend him as early as possible. Aaron Banks is solid. He is one of the building blocks of this offensive line. Who knows how long we got Trent Williams. Out of all the 49ers offensive line, out of all five of those guys, Banks is the only guy that I bet on being good here in the future. They got to keep Aaron Banks. I would extend him as soon as possible. I definitely would not trade him.
Now, I wouldn't give Aaron Banks, Laken Tomlinson money. Laken Tomlinson got $13.5 million a year. I can see why the Niners didn't want to give him that. But at the same time, like, you should be investing in your offensive line. That's what the Chiefs would do. If the Chiefs had a choice between an elite wide receiver or a very good offensive lineman, they'd take the very good offensive lineman. They did that already and won a Super Bowl. They traded Tyreek Hill. I would do what the Chiefs do. They're the best team, not the Niners. Trade Brandon Ayuk. He's a great player, not as good as Tyreek Hill. Get what you can for him, probably a first-round pick. I might even trade Talanoa Hufanga rather than give him $15 million to be a streaky safety. But Aaron Banks, that guy could be a linchpin of your offensive line for a very long time. You drafted him. You developed him. He shouldn't be too expensive. I'd give him $10 million a year, maybe even more. Keep Aaron Banks.
Absolutely. They got to keep Aaron Banks. I mean, we'll see about Burford. Maybe Burford will become a guy they can keep long-term. I don't know. He's not playing well right now. Brendel is a temporary guy. He's got one more year after this. They got to find his replacement. Who knows when Trent Williams retires? And our
Banks
boy
is all you got. Really.
Banks is all you got.
Banks is all you got.
Yes. Yep. They got to have to. Must.
It's funny. But I think of all the three players that the Niners could potentially extend this offseason, I think they should extend Banks. That's the one. Now, he got hurt. Let's see how much time he misses. I don't want to extend a guy who's going to be missing time, and he didn't play his rookie year, and he doesn't have that big of a track record. So we'll see how he finishes the season. But to me, I think this guy is a key member of the team for the future. And
absolutely.